Carlos Alcaraz's freaking nightmare in Doha just won't end. Carlos Alcaraz walked onto the court for his round of 16 match as the undisputed favorite, ready to bulldoze his way past the Italian Luca Nardi. And, for a while, it looked like he was going to do just that. The Spanish sensation came out swinging, absolutely obliterating the first set with a merciless 6-1. His shots were crisp, his movement was electric, and his confidence was through the roof. It was the Alcaraz everyone expected. Aggressive, precise, and downright untouchable. But, as they say in sports and in life, shit happens. As the second set rolled on, Alcaraz found himself comfortably ahead 4-1, with the match practically in the bag. Fans were already thinking about the quarterfinals. Commentators were praising his dominance, and Nardi? Well, he seemed like he was about to book an early flight home. And then, bam! Out of nowhere, the Alcaraz curse struck again. Like an old car that suddenly refuses to start, he just switched off. His level dropped, his focus wavered, and Nardi, sniffing blood in the water, went full beast mode. The Italian completely flipped the script, taking control of the rallies, hammering winners, and suddenly, instead of a routine win, Alcaraz was staring at a 4-6 set loss. Now, anyone who's been following Carlitos for a while knows this isn't exactly breaking news. This momentary blackout phenomenon has haunted him in multiple tournaments. One minute he's dominating, the next he's playing like a guy who just woke up from a nap. And in a tournament as stacked as this one, these slip-ups can cost you everything. Sure, he managed to claw his way back in the third set, sealing it 6-3, but at what cost? That was extra mileage on his legs, totally unnecessary wear and tear before the brutal later rounds. And speaking of later rounds, things are about to get spicy. Novak Djokovic's shock elimination may have opened up the draw for Alcaraz, but let's not kid ourselves, Doha is still a battlefield. Some of the most dangerous players on tour are lurking, waiting to pounce on any weakness. One of them? Alex de Minaur, the relentless Aussie who plays like he's got a rocket strapped to his back. Fresh off a runner-up finish in Rotterdam, where, funnily enough, he lost to Alcaraz, he's been on a tear in Doha. His 6-4 win over Dutch powerhouse Botic van de Zandschulp showcased just how lethal his game can be when his serve is clicking. Then there's Andrei Rublev, currently ranked number 10 in the world and seeded 5th in the tournament. The fiery Russian wiped the floor with Portuguese underdog Nuno Borges, 6-3, 6-4, showing that his serve and baseline firepower are nothing to mess with. When Rublev's in the zone, he's a nightmare to face, like trying to outpunch a heavyweight boxer. And let's not forget Daniil Medvedev, world number 6 and a certified human brick wall. Medvedev completely steamrolled Belgian journeyman Zizou Berg 6-2, 6-1 in under an hour. Because why waste energy when you don't have to? The Russian is built for these kinds of tournaments, with his insane defense and counterpunching making him a top-tier threat. Next up, Medvedev faces Felix Auger-Aliassime, who got a free pass to the quarters after his opponent, Hamad Medvedovic, withdrew due to injury. Sure, the Canadian hasn't had the best form lately, but on a good day, he's got the firepower to stun anyone. Can Alcaraz keep his head in the game? So, the million-dollar question. Can Carlos Alcaraz hold his nerve and survive this battlefield? The quarterfinals are where things get real. Every single mistake matters, and one lapse in concentration could mean packing his bags early. Alcaraz has the talent. Hell, the kid's a freak of nature, but tennis isn't just about hitting flashy winners. It's also a mental war. If he wants to lift the trophy in Doha, or anywhere else for that matter, he's got to keep his brain switched on from start to finish. No more random blackouts, no more taking his foot off the gas. If he keeps giving opponents these windows of opportunity, sooner or later, someone's going to slam it right in his face. Alcaraz reflects on his hard-fought win in Doha. Staying focused is one of the toughest things in tennis. After surviving his 3-set battle against Luca Nardi, Carlos Alcaraz sat down with the press, still catching his breath. The 20-year-old admitted that maintaining full concentration on court is one of the biggest challenges he faces. "It's not easy, man," Alcaraz sighed, shaking his head. "Tennis is brutal. You can be cruising one moment, then suddenly the other guy turns into prime Novak Djokovic, and you're in deep trouble." That damn second set. Alcaraz started the match in beast mode. From the very first game, he dictated the pace, blasting winners, moving like a cheetah, and absolutely suffocating Nardi. The result? A quick 6-1 first set where the Italian barely knew what hit him. Everything was going exactly to plan. And then, just like that, the momentum did a full 180. At 4-1 up in the second set, Alcaraz seemed to have his ticket to the quarters already printed. But because tennis is a cruel, unforgiving sport, Nardi suddenly started swinging for the fences, and everything started landing. Out of nowhere, the Italian leveled up, started painting lines, and completely took over. Alcaraz, meanwhile, looked like he'd just lost his Wi-Fi connection. His intensity dropped, his shots lost their bite, and before he knew it, he had fumbled the set 4-6. "I started strong, controlling everything," Alcaraz explained. "But at 4-1, I missed some chances, and man, he just started playing like a top 10 guy. His level shot through the roof, and I was struggling to keep up, bouncing back like a champ. Losing that set could have broken lesser players. But Alcaraz, he wasn't about to let Nardi ruin his night. With a deep breath and a fresh dose of, 'No way in hell I'm losing this' energy, he stormed into the third set. His footwork sharpened up, his forehand started firing again, and he closed out the match 6-3. "I knew I had to reset," he said. "I got my energy back, and I'm happy I found my rhythm again." And that's the thing about Alcaraz. Even when he stumbles, he finds a way to get back up. But in a tournament this stacked, he better make sure he doesn't trip again. Because next time, there might not be a third set to save him. Alcaraz woke the hell up in the decider and took Nardi to school. When crunch time arrived, Carlos Alcaraz finally snapped out of it and rediscovered that ultra-aggressive, take-no-prisoner style of play that makes him one of the most electrifying players on the ATP Tour. With the match hanging in the balance, he grabbed the reins, took control of the rallies, and put Nardi on a goddamn leash. Every shot he fired forced the Italian onto the back foot, making him scramble like a man running late for a flight. Alcaraz wasn't just playing better, he was playing like a man possessed. And, surprise, surprise, it worked. That killer instinct, that "I am not losing this match today" energy, propelled him to a 6-3 win in the deciding set, booking his ticket to the quarterfinals. It was yet another brutal reminder that in tennis, mental resilience is everything. Because let's be honest, even the best players in the world have their WTF moments. Their focus wobbles, their energy plummets, and suddenly they start playing like they've never held a racket before. But what separates the champions from the nearly men, the legends from the journeymen, is their ability to snap out of it, reset, and fucking find a way to win. And Alcaraz, he did just that. This match was yet another example of why the young Spaniard is one of the most thrilling talents to watch. He walked the tightrope between genius and disaster, flirted with the idea of self-destruction, and then, just when it looked like he might let it slip, he flipped the switch and reminded everyone why he's a future multiple-time Grand Slam champion. Staying focused? Yeah, that's hard as hell, Alcaraz speaks after his win. After sealing his spot in the next round, Alcaraz sat down with the press, still sweating and probably still trying to figure out what the hell happened in that second set. And, as always, he kept it real. "For me, one of the toughest things in tennis is staying focused throughout the entire match," Alcaraz admitted. "Doing it for 2-3 hours straight? Man, that's brutal." We saw it today. He played out of his mind in the second set but couldn't keep it up in the third. The Spaniard didn't hold back in praising Nardi's game, acknowledging that while the Italian is still ironing out some kinks, he's got serious potential. "This has been his weakness since we were kids," Alcaraz revealed. "Keeping his level consistent. but I have no doubt he'll figure it out and become a serious threat in the future. Translation: watch out, world, Luca Nardi might be a problem in a few years. Paranoia in pro tennis? Hell yeah. Alcaraz talks about diet and drug precautions. One of the spicier topics brought up in the press conference was something that's been making waves in the tennis world lately: the absolute necessity of watching what the hell you put in your body. With the Jannik Sinner drama still fresh and Aryna Sabalenka recently warning about never drinking from unattended cups, because, let's face it, pro sports aren't immune to shady shit, Alcaraz was asked how he and his team handle these concerns. And his answer? They don't take any damn chances. We've always been super careful about this, Alcaraz said. We control everything we drink, everything we eat, everything we put in our bodies. If someone brings a supplement, we don't just take it. We double, triple check what's in it before we even think about using it. And he made it clear, this isn't just because of the Sinner situation. We were already really cautious long before that, he added. It's just common sense at this level. You don't want to mess around with things that could ruin your career. So, yeah, while some players might still be playing it fast and loose, Team Alcaraz is running a goddamn tight ship. Because the last thing a future #1 needs is some sketchy contamination nonsense messing up his rise to the top. And judging by the way he snapped out of his funk and took Nardi apart in that final set, you can bet he'll be back even stronger for the next round. Because if there's one thing we learned today, it's that when Alcaraz finally wakes the fuck up, he's damn near unstoppable. Alcaraz's next challenge: facing the Czech powerhouse, Jiri Lehecka. Carlos Alcaraz isn't getting a break anytime soon. His next opponent in the quarterfinals of Doha is the hard-hitting Czech, Jiri Lehecka, a player who, in Alcaraz's own words, is an absolute menace on the court. We're talking about a damn tough guy, seriously dangerous, Alcaraz admitted. I actually hit with him a few days ago, and let me tell you, he nukes the ball. Every shot feels like a cannon blast. If I want to survive, I need to be locked in, both physically and mentally. No room for distractions, no moments of laziness. If he gives me a chance, I have to jump on it instantly. But it's gonna be a war out there. No doubt about it. And honestly, he's not exaggerating. Lehecka has been tearing through the draw like a wrecking ball, sending opponents packing with his raw power and fearless shot-making. If Alcaraz wants to make it through this, he better show up ready to go full beast mode. Screw the breaks, let's keep playing. Alcaraz on his tournament schedule. While some players prefer a day off between matches to rest, strategize, and maybe take a deep breath, Alcaraz? No. He'd rather keep the train rolling. In Grand Slams, yeah, I get it. Those matches are 5-set wars, so the extra day helps, he said. But in tournaments like this? Just keep them coming. I actually like playing day after day. It keeps my rhythm sharp. We're used to this, and honestly, by the end of the season, when you've played a million matches, it's better this way. Less time to overthink, more time to just get out there and handle business. It's a bold mindset, but hey, that's Alcaraz for you. All gas, no brakes. The power of a smile. Alcaraz on staying positive, no matter what. But here's where things get even more interesting. Unlike some players who mope around, throw tantrums, or smash rackets when things go south, Alcaraz has a very different approach. He smiles through the chaos. We always try to stay positive, whether we're winning or struggling, he said. Smiling changes everything. Even if I'm feeling like absolute crap inside, I try to project good energy. If you start sulking, your whole game falls apart. But if you stay upbeat, you can flip the script, even in the worst moments. And he's got a point. Tennis is just as much mental as it is physical. You can be in peak shape, have the best forehand in the world, but if you let frustration creep in, you're dead in the water. Alcaraz understands that doubts, frustration, and pressure are unavoidable in high-stakes matches. But rather than letting them eat him alive, He believes in using positivity as his weapon. It helps him stay locked in, push through the rough patches, and deliver his best tennis when it matters most. Beyond the court, positivity as a lifestyle. And this mindset? It doesn't stop when he leaves the stadium. Alcaraz makes a conscious effort to carry that same energy into his everyday life. He knows that having a strong mentality doesn't just help him perform better, it also impacts the people around him. From his team to his fans, his attitude sets the tone. His philosophy, a smile, even in the toughest moments, can be the key to overcoming any obstacle. It's a simple concept, but one that separates the greats from the rest. Locked in and ready for war. With the Nardi scare behind him, Alcaraz is now fully focused on the battle ahead. His quarterfinal showdown against the dangerous and unpredictable Lehecka will be yet another test of his concentration, endurance, and ability to bring his A game when the pressure is on. But if there's one thing we know about Carlos Alcaraz, it's that he thrives in these moments. With his unreal talent, relentless determination, and ever-present smile, he's more than ready for whatever comes next. And if you love this kind of coverage, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a like. Because here at Tennis Zone, we bring you the best content for the best audience.